sound design is very important. If you miss sound design, it could mess up the entire thing. Now, there are certain things that sound design can cover in terms of editing, like cuts or whatever, or shots that was. But when you have a film that has a bad sound design, it affects the entire film.
Hello everyone and welcome to It's a Wrap by Pulse. We'll discuss everything movies as regards Nollywood. On today's episode, we'll be reviewing Kesari the King and Shino. My name is Elvis Christian, and with me on today's episode are two amazing experts in movies. How are you doing?
Good.
You're good. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been.
It's nice to have you back. All right, so let's jump right into the episode. All right, so where should we start from? Kesari the King or Shino? Where do we want to?
Let's start from the list. They're both bad movies, but let's start from maybe Shino, then we go to Kesari.
Damn. All right, so let's do. Do you agree that they're both bad movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was even expecting us to start from Kesari since there's really nothing to talk about.
Let's do Kesari then.
Yeah.
Right. I really love the energy. I like the energy in the room. So let's start with Kesari the King. Let's start with the plot. What do we think about the story and how the scenes, added up to make the whole thing?
Yeah.
What do you think about the plot?
I think it's a bad. I think the plot was lazy. I thought the plot did not make any sense. I thought it was very inconsistent from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
It was difficult to understand what the story is. From what happened in the beginning with Odolade's character and Adeyemi Okunlawo's character killing a particular person's child. Then the man Odule's child going to the tree to call on Kesari to come back. It was just a whole of nonsense. It didn't make any sense. And I'm more disappointed that it made it to Netflix. Aside every other thing. I know it went to the cinemas, but it shouldn't have made it to Netflix. And I don't know what or why it did. But it's below par. At every level. It doesn't match, it doesn't fit, it would never match, it would never fit. It's just a joke to Nollywood, and seeing that film come out and people saying, I'm disappointed that people think it's a good film. It's not even good enough for YouTube. Damn. That's how bad it is. You get me?
Yeah.
All right, so do you share the same sentiment?
I actually do share the same sentiment, and I think that I know we're talking behind, and I was telling you that Netflix sometimes, I don't know what they look out for when they allow certain movies on their platform, because I know back then Netflix used to be the most get
the best films on there.
Understand? They had the best films. Right now anybody can just put anything on Netflix, and I've seen movies on YouTube that are way better in terms of plot, settings, navigation, everything in general. This one didn't just make any sense. I don't know how people just sit down and think, I want to write a story that is, number one, unrealistic, unbelievable, and then the actors. I don't know if it's the money that people look out for when they're receiving scripts, because as an actor or as a filmmaker, you should be able to pass a message. Do you understand? Even if sometimes it might be fiction. Let's say Bridgerton for, do you understand? It's fiction, right? But then there's a story behind it. Do you understand?
And it's consistent.
Do you get me? But I don't understand how a demigod would turn to a notorious criminal. And then the ending was just trash. I honestly didn't understand it. And then again, the very typical Nigerians will come out and say, you don't know, go and make your own movie. No, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you need to be able to tell a story, even if it's not something that you've experienced before, but let there be a story that keeps people wondering, how did this person come up with this? My younger sister can do that. And
all right, so I feel like I can't really say anything about the plot, because you always see a preview, right? I saw the preview and it wasn't really convincing. I started watching it. I didn't watch long enough to grasp the plot. I just watched long enough to see visually. I wasn't exactly interested, so I didn't continue.
Yeah.
I know it's Netflix, so the next button.
There was no plot, if you ask me. I don't think there was any plot in the movie, because for someone if you look at the cast properly, you see that most of them are actors that have been in the industry for a long time. So how do you conveniently take a movie like that you absolutely know nothing about? It doesn't even tell anything. That's what I'm saying, that everybody right now is just all about the bag. You can put your reputation in the dustbin, nobody really cares. It's all about the bag. I want the bag. Because how would you tell me that Yvonne in that movie, Latif in that movie, DM in that movie, and it was still like that, and they still did it with their whole heart? All the Jackie Chan that they're doing there, and
I mean,
it's sad, honestly.
It's sad because not because of the kind of film. I think because of the era we're in Nollywood, and because we thought that we're making progress with the kind of films we're making, and then we jump on Netflix and we're seeing a film like Kesari, right? In as much as people would say, give kudos to the producer, the director. That's the one of the film. That's Ibrahim Yakini. I say, at least he went out of his way to do something. I get it, but I think at this stage, whatever is worth doing well. You want to do an action film, do it well. From if you look at the costume, the wig, the dress, everything was just a mess.
Personal, that's even my own personal problem with it.
Everything was just a mess. And, I'm seeing Macaroni. I'm seeing Latif. I'm seeing Kelvin Ikeduba. I'm seeing this. What they did is a Yoruba film that you probably had seen some 10
LTV,
10, 15 years ago. Not now. I'm seeing Bolaji Ogunmola in the film.
I don't think you would have seen
I'm seeing, I'm seeing Adeyemi Okolawo in the film, and it begs the question: did you read the script before accepting? And if you did, you would tell me that. Oh, people told me that maybe it's relationship. They're doing it because they're friends, and I get it. There's a part for relationship in business or in stories like this, but you should read the script and advise this man on. This is the way to go about this. I think, for me, I don't think it's an entirely bad story if it was done well. Similar things happen in Hollywood. You see Spider-Man, you see this, you see what is going on. You see people bring fire from their mouth or from their hand or whatever. Those are things that happens in Nigeria and Nollywood here. We shout because they don't do it well. Right?
Yeah.
For a film like his, I think the whole idea of the film is about giving unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Right? So I get the idea because I've seen some parts of it that came out on YouTube before I even went to the cinema, like part 1, part 2, and before this installation went to the cinema. But then there's some intentionality in making films like this. You can't just make a mediocre project and dump it on our faces and say that you've done a film. You need to be very intentional with the kind of films you're making because you're not making films for dumb people. Right, you're making films of people that have gone past Regina Daniels' days of doing Spider-Woman or Spider-Girl, and it was unbelievable. Or Tales of the Moonlight, where a man is wearing an elephant costume and is trying to make us feel funny, or trying to make us be. Now
I get that.
Things needs to be properly done. And he missed it. He missed it a great deal, and it's disappointing. He went to Netflix, and it's really bad. It's a joke.
All right, so we've discussed the plot at length, and it needs to be about the actors. So let's talk about the respective performances on the
Everything was bad.
Oh.
Yeah, everything was bad.
Every single actor.
Everything, yeah. And, to be honest, the film made every actor look...
Yeah.
Yeah, made them look
funny.
Mid.
Yeah.
Like it was a comic...
Yeah,
like a very long skit.
Yeah, exactly.
A very long skit.
That's it. I think that's the word.
And they were acting really serious in the skits. Like
he made them look
nobody
really
needs
funny.
to know we're acting.
I mean, Odolade did what he does normally, what he's known for doing. He's known for particularly his action, where he's a warrior, or that's what he's known for doing. But Dami was just funny. To be honest, and Macaroni with the scratching hand and what he was trying to do. Like I didn't know what that was about. He
was cast as a nerd.
Yeah.
From the entire thing, from when the guy killed his dad, Inka Quadri's character turned to a gold. Then arm robbers came, they took the gold. He turned back to a human being. How did they know that the gold was there? How did they know that the guy turned to a gold and he killed his dad? Because that was just known to him and his dad alone. How did everybody in the entire neighborhood know that this what happened? That kind of thing. So it's a big job.
So the plot you don't like, actors you don't like. So let's move to cinematography. Oh wait, I did talk to you about the actors.
All right, please.
It's the same thing. If you see, let's say you see zero list actors, people that have never acted before, if they act very well in a good movie, everything will be good. Do you understand? You might not even see them as, I've never seen this person before. This person really did well. So for Dami said, for all those people that were on that project, they obviously look like they were casting or they were just practicing, or it was just a very, very, very funny yet but serious skit, because I didn't really see anything. And honestly speaking, I didn't see them as those actors. I just saw them as, who are these people? Like, what are they doing?
So the way they were probably directed or the story made
exactly. And
mediocre.
if you're friends with this person and you are reading the script, see, sometimes you just need to tell your friends the truth.
And I actually feel like it's easier to even critique your friend
before it comes out in public. And Dami said something about you're not making movies for dumb people. Some people are dumb because they won't see that this movie is a joke. And even if I'm going to get bashed, that's the honest truth. People will still come on the comment section and say things that don't make any sense. Go and do it's not about that. And I'm saying this again, it's not about that. People have their opinions.
So that you've heard this, go and do your own movie a lot.
Especially like they're always saying it underneath, like go do your own movies. It's not like that. These people also come into people's DMs and like, oh, this is what we're looking out for. This is what we did. This is what we did wrong. Do you understand? Most of these people are in the DMs. They're telling you, what are you doing? What are we doing wrong? What are we not doing wrong? Do you understand? So that's why most of them don't come out to say, oh, this person on Pulse TV said this. No, they are taking back the corrections. We're not saying it so that you can go and feel bad. No, we're saying it so that next year it will be Oscars, all these things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to confine yourself because you're in Nigeria. No, it can be seen at the very
international.
I'm even saying it that you don't all have to be directors.
Right.
Or you don't have to want to make your own film. You get me? Like, you have a great idea for a film. Take it to someone that you know can do it.
That's another point.
You don't have to be involved in that process.
And they can twist and turn.
It's okay. I mean, this whole debacle of everybody wanting to, I'm an actor. I want to be in the limelight. I want go and study,
my name
go to a film
should
school,
be there.
Learn the process. It's good that you want to grow to be a director, and I get it. But then you don't want to make your film there because you have made this film. You're going to make another film. What's the guarantee that you get people to see the film?
Yeah.
Or you get even the likes of Netflix or these VOD platforms to get your film, seeing that this is the feedback people are seeing about your film. So that kind of thing, even if Netflix approached me for it, I'll be like, no, don't put this one. Commission me for something else. Because whatever I did with this one, it wasn't good enough.
All right.
I might just leave it at the cinemas and leave it at YouTube. But I'm not going to take it to Netflix. That platform is too big and too serious to take a joke like that.
To have that kind of movie on.
All right. So since so far it's been really terrible.
It's been really bad, yeah. Really
so
bad.
let's move to directing. Since
everything is all
Elvis, everything. It's the same. We're going to keep going back and forth. It's the same thing. From the directing to the acting, then the actors. I couldn't
even rate it.
Oh,
yeah. You too?
I couldn't
oh my
rate
God,
it.
me too.
The plot hole was too big.
I'm sorry.
The plot holes were too big.
I'm sorry.
The truck can pass through.
Fantastic.
I couldn't rate it
It was too.
So at this point, do we continue? Do I keep giving you categories or metrics to judge?
Well, I mean, we just
wanted to. I'm going to hear the same thing.
Maybe
the film tried so well to be bad, and it ended up being bad.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So let's go to. I think we're done with Kesari. Yeah.
All right. So what score do you get? I know you don't want to rate it here.
No, it's not. I mean, if you rate it, it means some things was good.
So everything was bad.
No, everything was bad.
Even the costumes, everything.
Are you joking? Have you seen the way the wig sat on his head?
Right.
Have you seen the top? It felt like he was wearing a two-piece. And he had this design in it. I'm not even joking. Maybe as you're watching this, maybe my editor will what do they call it? You see the photo, and maybe it's just me.
We just need a picture of the way the wig sat. You will get the point.
Yeah, that's it right there.
And really crazy. I don't know, that was Netflix. That's what they used to promote the movie. Because you turn on your TV and the wig is in your face.
Do you know what it means? Do you know what it means?
What does this company look out for when they're taking movies?
They're promoting African stories.
Do you know it means that? Do you know the way I think Netflix is saying it? Like, this is the action of Africa.
Oh damn!
This is Africa's action film
at our level.
At our level.
Wow.
So this is the likes of the guys who made Spider-Man, the Marvel guys will see this and be like, oh, this is what these guys are. There's still a lot for them to learn.
Because Indians were here centuries ago.
Will they even see it?
Real. All right, so let's move on to Shina and fingers crossed, hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
Right. Because it can't be all negative here.
Right. I mean, the title, the name of the film, Kesari, was good. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Kesari the King.
Okay, so let's say 1 over 10.
Well, the other story.
For the name.
Give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So Caesar is stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
I'll take Caesar's own and keep to myself. That's a different conversation. All right, so let's move on to Shina. What do we think about the story? What good things can we say? Let's do sandwich. Good, then something we don't like, then something better.
Okay.
Okay, so for the good thing I can take out of the story is see it as the things that happen during the political season.
Okay.
Things that happen, things that go on behind the scenes, you know, the Godfathers, the Minions, and the rest. That's all I'm going to see. And life in general just happening to a young boy who just wanted to keep his grandmother safe.
All right.
That's all I can see from
So what do you not like about the plot? Or is there, you love everything about the plot?
No, not everything about the plot. What I don't like about it, it was quite unrealistic in some setting scenes. Let's start from the hospital scene where he came in and he was like yelling like who's here, and I think it was Linda Ejiofor.
Yes,
she was there, and then she was supposed to be out of the hospital, and all of a sudden she just decides, I don't want to go anymore. Like
something was God ministering to our soul. Because that does happen, right? Religious people tell you, yeah, God told me to stay back, so that could be an excuse. He didn't tell us that was the reason.
I mean, I feel like she stayed back because it wasn't. She was supposed to be. Yeah, it was part of it because she stayed back so that the the female candidate, could be saved because her fiance was. So
sounds like a lot, right? All right. What do you think about the plot?
Well, I mean, the story first. There's a story there. One. You know, I think for the most part in Nollywood, what we get wrong may not even be the story, but how we interpret the story in visuals. There's a story there, it's simple. A young boy who's trying to save his mom, and then he's got his friend, and then the life happened, like you mentioned, that made the situation look very, you know, interesting. And he had to, he was involved in the killing of someone indirectly that was supposed to save, you know, this story here and there. But, you know, the scenes were not consistent. The scenes had some ambiguity in it. It made it difficult for people to really understand, okay, who is Shina? Backstory again.
Yeah,
character
no
development.
backstory.
I don't understand what Neil's character was. I mean, Neil, bad acting, you know. I'm going to put that out there. But I don't understand what Neil's character was in the film.
Sorry.
They went to a place that did not look like a club, and they called it the club. Looked like a school. And we were coming out. What happened to Neil's leg? Was he short or did he twist his ankle? Don't know.
He fell.
He fell down.
Stood up and started limping.
You know, yeah. So maybe something happened.
No, he didn't break his leg because he mentioned it at the last.
That he got
like,
shot
I
or something.
I didn't break my leg.
Oh, so why was he limping then?
Because he fell. Like obviously, I don't
When you fall upon impact.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Let's give it to him. Good acting for that. So he comes out and Shino is trying to pick him and everything just looked very funny. Prime Roberts came. What's the backstory? Who's Neil? You understand?
Neil, like I said,
he's supposed to be a driver.
Neil is just a random guy that he picked up from the airport from UK.
Yeah.
Who came and was, partying, enjoying life to its fullest, and he was just there at the wrong time to pick up his client, and that's when all that shenanigans happened.
I mean, but it still needed more character development. You know why? Because his grandma was just rushed to the hospital. Now, is he taking another ride in that situation?
He said he was taking another ride so that he could get money from Neil.
From one ride.
From Neil. And
how much was the money?
To ask him for money. Because he has been his client for a while.
Yeah.
So he feels like I'm in the position to at least ask for help. So that's where Neil's character comes in.
Yeah, it still lacks some character development, in my opinion.
I do agree with the character development on Timini's character because right at the gates, the character starts and it just starts going up, going up. Like sometimes we need to sit back and understand.
You must have done something for the mom to say, "Oh, don't go back to what you used to do."
Yeah, he used to be a cultist. Funny enough.
But we didn't know that towards the end. Even towards the end, it wasn't properly established. I just saw this funny looking tattoo, and the guy that saw it recognized the tattoo. But nothing happened after. Then the whole shooting. How did the guy get into the house of the woman who's, and it just, everything was just very funny.
The movie does look like it was shot like a long time ago shot.
No, but still, that was 2022, 2023 still.
Okay, fair enough.
They had enough time
and from what I heard, it was Netflix commission. You can't, so Netflix paid you to do that shit. Look at the fighting with the policeman. Look at the fact that the same policeman that stopped him at the gunpoint or the checkpoint were the same guys at the police station. So they didn't have another police people at the police station. So the police station was locked.
They took them.
Police station was locked.
No, they took Timini to the...
And so the guys that were on shift
Funny enough, I noticed that they were just the only ones.
The guys that were on shift left and they were the ones that were there. Yeah. And they even had injuries. From what Timini had given them.
Continuation, right? Remember that time that Timini was trying to butcher them, in terms of like put them down.
Yeah.
You know, he put both of them down.
Yeah,
How did he end up being the one that was down at the end of the day?
No, because they eventually used this thing to. One of them stood up and used the back of the gun to hit him. You know, the film is just, you know, it's like you're watching. It's like you're watching basketball, like, you know, Night of a Thousand Laughs all over again. You know, so it's like they're on the stage and they're just trying to say this one happened. You know, it just did not.
So the plot was giving them say.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't well developed.
It was jumping.
It wasn't. Even Shaka Riz's character, you know, we're gonna treat the woman. At some point, he changed his mind. No, that's not what happened to her. She needs 10 doses or whatever.
For me, all those little parts in the scenes, I would say that it's sometimes it's life in general, because I've seen situations whereby hospitals would not treat you. So there's always that person. Right?
I get that part where they won't want to treat you unless you pay. You understand? But the development around that process, that particular thing, did not make sense to a lot of people.
I do feel like whenever it was like a little hospital scene, right? It always felt like they were actors playing doctors. It didn't feel like
they were doctors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also feel like it comes from the story itself, like how it was written, right? Because they didn't use a lot of medical jargon.
Oh,
do you get what I mean?
Terminology.
There's a place the director plays in that.
Yes, and I feel like a lot of words were not used. It wasn't believable that Linda and this guy's character, they were doctors. It just looked like some guys that just
doctoral terminology.
Yes, meant to use a lot of it. It wasn't believable, right? It just felt like, oh, okay, let's just get these people. They're playing doctors. Let's do it. Let's film, right? Yeah. They didn't really. It didn't feel believable. That's how we just leave it at that. So let's look at their performances.
Let's just say that the casting was not that good.
I mean, not that the casting wasn't good. I mean, Timini was
individually, they are all decent actors.
For me, Timini was okay to play Shina. He just wasn't believing enough. For me, he wasn't believing enough in this film. I did not feel the emotions. I did not feel the fact that, you know, you're trying to save your grandma that is almost dead and you don't even know what is wrong with her. And you're trying to look for money. I did not believe. I don't know why.
You didn't get that much intensity.
Yeah, I don't know why your landlord will send you 700K. I mean, there's a part of it on being unbelievable, but then I'd rather, like Bjorn would say, their opinions and their reviews and their critiques. Opinion is how you think the film should have been shot, like how you think the story should have been made. And, you know, critiques is when you're trying to when you're specific on technicalities like plot, performances, cinematography, sound design, and all those things. You know, so opinion is, I don't know how believable it is for your landlord to send you 700K for your mom's.
It's very believable.
And that you would, I don't know, mine must be really nice, you know, and that you pay next week.
He kind of
and the whole money just left, you know. And also the whole thing, they were trying to make Hakeem Lewis look like he's a bad man, you know, and the cutting of the fingers. Did you see what they did? Where they cut the fingers and it was just one part of the knife that had like this tomato thing here. And I'm like, he cut the entire finger and it's just a part of that. So there's a little details, you know, that I wanted to pay attention to. And the film tried a lot to look very expensive, but it really looked really cheap.
But there was a part of there was something I just couldn't understand. The scenes with Neo's character, the source, I don't know why there was a pink light in the car.
Yeah. I mean, from what they said it doesn't have AC, so the lights will, you know, compensate for the AC. That was a very dumb dialogue. Very dumb dialogue.
So it feels like the actual car, the real car, like this is real life, actually doesn't have AC.
Yeah, it doesn't have AC.
So they are the one compensating. They say, okay, let's just find
the driver is the one compensating the passenger.
No, I feel like the producers were actually the ones compensating. Then they now fix that into.
So you feel like the
car itself.
So they couldn't afford a car that has AC.
I wouldn't say.
And is Netflix paid for?
I wouldn't say afford. I would not say afford.
That's quite disappointing.
You know, sometimes. Some of these things, selfishness comes into play. Because if Netflix should pay you for this kind of thing, I can bet you that they probably didn't even spend half of the money that Netflix gave them. That's another conversation. Yeah, because...
Speculative, hey.
Yeah, I mean, but then it happens, you know.
No, that's the truth. Like, because it's like you going to the market and you're saying that I want money for this, money for this, money for this. What's the estimate? The estimate is 200,000 naira, right? I'm giving you 210. So that there's no comebacks. Now you're coming back, you're not coming back with everything that
worth.
So obviously you didn't buy everything. Even if you did buy everything, you bought
the budget.
Do you understand? You bought the cheapest of the cheapest. And that's what we're seeing there. If Netflix should commission you for that kind of movie or whatever it is, because the story must have been given to Netflix, right? And for some reason, like I said, at the end of the day, there's power that knows power that will say, okay, yes, no, but that's the truth. Because this movie, I cannot believe that Netflix commissioned it. I cannot believe that Netflix approved it.
Wow.
Kesari is even the worst.
I must also add that the sound design for Shino is really bad. And I think I'm looking at the camera so people understand how important sound design is to filmmaking, right? Sound design is very important. If you miss sound design, it could mess up the entire thing. Now, there are certain things that sound design can cover in terms of editing, like cuts or whatever, or shots that was. But when you have a film that has a bad sound design, it affects the entire film. You understand? Because sound design is emotions. That's what people feel when they go to the cinema and they're watching this thing in this loud place where the speakers and everything is just in their ears. The sound design is what gets you.
The aura.
You understand? When you've seen the Hollywood films like Furiosa, you've seen films, the sound design down to the littlest drops, like when the pin drops and you can hear everything.
The sound
and
of the
down to
shoes
the mood and everything. So people, I don't think we really appreciate good sound design in Nigeria.
Where you can imagine yourself going through that.
You know, we just think it's for call a music guy, play keyboard, let this one know. Sound design is, to a large extent, this plays a bigger part in the film.
Where we decide to take our time to actually get things done instead of running along with people's time, because everybody is just like, oh, this one has dropped a movie today. Everybody's dropped a movie. I need to drop a movie too. Do you understand? I think that's what they're doing.
Beyonce came and said that when she was here, she was like, everybody's just following the wagon. You know, you make an action film, oh, that's what's popular.
They want to, do you understand? They want to go and make people need to take their time. Because if that movie was shot in 2022, and for it to still come out looking like this, then what was the point?
It looked really mean.
What was the point?
You know? So one thing is about the sound design and the whole sound thing. I remember watching it and feeling like some of the scenes were voiced. Like they shot it and they realized that maybe the mic wasn't working.
Good enough.
Then in post, they not like voiced it. I noticed that in Shino. I noticed that also in
Kesari.
No, that's not Kesari. It's as an older show, Far From Home. I saw it a lot, especially in Fuka Akindele scenes. I mean, it's like she was voicing it.
It's mostly to do.
The voice was not matching. It wasn't matching the actual emotion she was displaying. Like I'm seeing what I'm hearing doesn't match what I'm actually seeing. So that happened a lot with Shina. So let's move to. I mean, cinematography. Should we?
Well, I won't really say, because some of the shots in the film, I wasn't sure how some of the shots, I think generally the shot composition wasn't the best. I think they could have explored more shot compositions and angles, you know, particularly at the hospital.
It
made it look very, the aerial shot, you know, with Shaka and Rizzi and Linda as your first character when they met, you know, even the shooting at the club, you know. I think, I'm not sure why it was like that. I mean, it's still unbelievable to hear that it was a commissioned project by Netflix. Quite unbelievable.
All right. So what do you think? So do you agree?
Don't have anything to say.
You don't have anything to say. It's just crazy. All right. So let's move to directing. Do you think that the director, because you said a lot of the performances were mid.
Yeah, right?
Mid. So do you think the director could have done something?
Oh, it could have done better. They could have done better. You know, it wasn't, like I said, for me, it wasn't convincing. I did not think whatever was wrong with Timini's grammar was that serious for him. I didn't
think react differently here. People react to things differently.
The tension was built when he was rushing his mom to the hospital. There's tension already. It means whatever I'm doing now, I need to get the money. I like the fact that he was fighting with the policeman. I'm trying to save my mom. You're trying to delay me, take my money. You know, those kind of things. And, you know, but the tension was not felt. You know, and I think the sound design also has some part to play. Because if you give me some very, you know, hearty sound when all those things were happening, I would feel it that this guy is actually, even look at the way he was acting when he brought his mom to the hospital. What is wrong with that now? Can you just, I can't remember this. It was like, what's going on, bro? I was like, bro, maybe believe that something is wrong with your mom, with your grandma. You want to see her. Like, I'm not even sure what.
So I was going to ask, what do they do when they do this private screening movie reviews on private screening in general?
Premieres.
Because
I'm not sure they do private. I'm not sure they do screenings in Nigeria.
They do
screenings, not premieres.
They do.
You know the screenings and the premieres. Premieres is
I know,
the one
like,
that
yeah, like-
they all wear clothes and everything.
Yeah.
Screening is mostly for film people to come
To
watch
watch.
and
So I
give
want to
feedback.
know what
Yeah.
they look
I
out
have been to a screening, like a
I
private
also
screening before a
have.
movie
So I
came
want to know
out.
what they look
Maybe
out for.
some really, you know, or if regardless of people do things here, but to see everyone that's doing it, right? Maybe people that really take their movies seriously. I want to hear critiques, but a lot of filmmakers, art people generally, can be very narcissistic with their work, feeling like it's an extension of yourself.
Yeah.
So would rather not want to be critiqued.
Yeah,
so
just go
that can exactly. So it's something that artsy people do.
Okay.
Yeah, like, please don't critique my work.
I'll
It's
say
my
that there's
art.
nothing wrong to filmmakers. There's nothing wrong in screening your films.
Yeah.
They do it a lot in Hollywood. I'm sure.
A
Bollywood.
lot, all the
Everywhere.
time.
It is just so people can identify these details
The pros
and tell you, oh, maybe then you go back, maybe you need to reshoot some things or take away some things. But screening is very important.
All right. So we've talked about Shina, plot, directing. By implication, we talked about sound. Sound as well.
Yeah.
So let's rate it.
Yeah. Wait.
Would you advise someone to watch?
I mean, like I always say on my IG when I post my reviews, I'd be like, go and watch and tell me what you think. I'll tell you what I think, but I don't want it to a large extent influence your decision to see the film. So I'll tell you that, I don't think this film was good enough. And if I don't rate a film, it means I don't think it's good enough to watch. But you could watch and let me know what you thought.
All right.
I didn't rate Shina.
What would you advise people to watch?
Would I advise people to watch it?
To Shina, like give it a rating first.
Yeah,
Tell me
but
if you
go and
like.
watch it, of course.
Yeah, go and watch it. I don't think it's a terrible movie. It's just that some loopholes were so big.
That you
could
can't
crash
miss.
in.
Oh my god.
But aside from that, you can watch it and still let us know. And you can also still bash us.
Right.
They do
There's
all the
always
time.
that. So like 1 to 10, 1 for bad,
3
10
over
for
10.
good. 3.
Yeah, 3 over 10.
All right.
Yeah.
1 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dami already said he wasn't going to rate it.
So you're not going to rate them. It doesn't deserve to be rated.
He doesn't just want to rate it.
Okay. All right, guys, you heard it from my experts. Please do share because I know you have
And please tell them to watch the
opinions.
films too.
Yeah,
Let
do
them
watch the movie.
Yeah.
Share your opinions. If you disagree, we always want to hear.
The
If
ones
you
that
agree,
was doing fave, don't watch it because you still come and bash us.
please, we also want you to bash us. Tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, talk for yourself. Talk for yourself.
I mean, hey, point blank, we want to hear what you have to say about these movies. Do you agree with us? Do share your own reviews. If you agree, please do say it too in the comments. All right, guys, from all of us in the studio,
It's a wrap.
Bye.
Thank you.